Final homestand of the year for the Rockies. They'll have 7 at home, 4 against the San Francisco Giants, and then 3 against the San Diego Padres. It has been raining on and off throughout the late afternoon. The tarp's off the field, and we are ready for a little hardball. Yep, the Giants come in 9 games over 500. They've won 4 straight. But they're not in the place they thought they'd be, and obviously the Rockies in the same situation. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. It has been disappointing for both clubs because going into this season, George, you figured this series here and the last one in San Francisco were going to be monumental.
Yeah, you looked at it in April, you're thinking this is the one that's going to define who wins the National League West. Unfortunately, there's only one team with any chance at all. Arizona, they're going to be at San Diego. They finished 9 straight at home. Pittsburgh, under 500. San Francisco, obviously a big series. The Dodgers playing better baseball. San Francisco, on the other hand, out on the road for 10 ball games. Colorado, Arizona, big series, obviously. The Dodgers, and then Colorado, those last 3. It's in their hands. It has been done before. Is it going to be easy? No. It's going to be very difficult to do. But when you have 6 games against the team leading the division, it's there for you to take it if you can do it. But you got to play great baseball.
You have to play great baseball, and you need some help. And as you pointed out, at least they play Arizona 6 times, but they're on the cusp of elimination as well. When we come back, you'll get to meet a little bit more a young man who's played a lot of shortstop of late, Tommy Field. That'll be next as we get you ready for first pitch.
Set for game 1 between the San Francisco Giants and the Colorado Rockies. However, Rockies shortstop Troy Tulowitzki will have to continue to sit this one out as he still is dealing with a soreness in his left hip. He will not be back until he is 100%, but that is good news for that guy. Tommy Field will continue to get the reps at shortstop in Troy Tulowitzki's absence. Welcome down field level, everybody, for the Rockies pregame reporters. We continue here. I'm Alana Rizzo. You know, Tommy Field is just getting his feet wet here at the big league level, and earlier today, I talked to Jim Tracy about the opportunity ahead of him.
He is getting some invaluable experience, actually, and You know, as I've said the last couple of days, I've been extremely impressed at his defensive prowess. You know, I managed a guy here, number 6 by the name of Quintanilla back in the day, and I called him a professional baseball catcher. And I think it's very safe to say that Thomas Field has a really good chance as he continues to move along to fall right into that same mold, if in fact that he's not already there now.
And Tommy Field earlier today told me he is still on cloud 9, but he hopes to continue to prove that he is a scrappy player and is willing and able to contribute at any point in any position that they need him. We are set for baseball here on Root Sports. Stay with us as the Giants and Rockies go at it next.
Sports is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Drive one. By CenturyLink. Quest is now CenturyLink. Your link begins here. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. By Sonic. You've got 2 hands for a reason. Put the kick and coney in one and the bacon and blue dog in the other. They're new and only at Sonic for $1.99. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. There's Cody Ross on a cool, somewhat overcast evening. Ross not having the kind of year he had a year ago. He really struggled in the months of July and August. He's picked it up a little bit since then. And following him in the Southwest Airlines batting order for Bruce Bochy, Jeff Keppinger, who came earlier in the year from Houston. Carlos Beltran came from the Mets. He had a big day yesterday, a couple of solo home runs. Pablo Sandoval's had a nice year. Aubrey Huff has struggled. Brandon Belt's in left field. Remember, he came up as a first baseman. Hector Sanchez, switch hitting catcher. Brandon Crawford is at shortstop, and Ryan Vogelsong will be on the hill. And it'll be 28th turn, I should say, for Jolice Chassin.
Yeah, and a lot of people look at that 11-11 record and they think average year. It's been anything but that. There's been numerous starts, particularly you look at Philadelphia, 1 run over 7 1/3. Washington, a loss, 1 run over that period. So he's pitched well in some ball games. The record not an indication of how well he actually has done. He has owned this San Francisco team, 3-1, 2.08 earned run average in 4 ball games.
And good communication in center field. And the man coming in as right away, the center fielder Dexter Fowler made the catch. And that'll bring up Jeff Keppinger. Here's the Rockies defensively. Smith, Fowler, and Gonzalez. Wigginton's at third, Pacheco at first. Once again, Troy Tulowitzki trying to get that hip well, and Todd Helton trying to get the back well. That's why those two guys, Field and Pacheco, are out there. Iannetta is doing the catching. First time we've seen Chris in a couple of days. And you may be wondering, as Keppinger takes strike one, why not Wigginton at first and Pacheco at third? And Jim Tracy was asked that question earlier this afternoon. He said, you know what, I want to take a look at him in both spots. That's a nice play by Tommy Field. Tell you what, he can pick it, George.
Well, I've watched him all since 2007 when he first signed with the Rockies. To watch him play up the middle, it was Wetzel in field and then Gomez in field this year at Tulsa. And he is a guy that can play multiple positions. He has the arm strength and displayed the range and arm strength there.
And Jim Tracy, one of the other guys he was bragging on a little bit this afternoon, was how impressed he's been with Tommy Field with the glove. 2 outs, nobody on, and here's Beltran. So he hit 2 home runs yesterday, one into McCovey Cove, as the Giants beat San Diego 3-1 for their 4th consecutive victory. The second ball he hit out, career home run number 300, and he stays hot. The 34-year-old will be a free agent at the end of the year, and he has had a very fine season. Here are the home runs from yesterday. And this is number 300. This one he didn't have to wait. He knew this was gone. I know all the injuries, George. I know the knee situation, but it's hard to look away from a 300 average, 20 home runs and 80 RBIs, and still a very good outfielder. If you're looking at Carlos Beltran and you're a club that's looking for an outfielder.
Basically a guy that played about 5 days a week and put up those kind of numbers. I mean, you know, I would think an American League team would take a peek at him, because I think he's one guy that could handle the DH role when he's not playing every day and be able to still be very productive.
How do you know that? We talked about that last night. I mean, how do you gauge whether a guy mentally can handle making that transition to just get 4 at bats a ball game and not running out on defense?
One thing, I think it's because he's a switch hitter. I think that would benefit him. I think number one. Number two, I think he would be comfortable in a position because of his knees and knowing he can't go out and play every day, but it would give him an opportunity and a positive attitude about that chance to be a DH. Some guys take the DH role as a demotion. You know, you can't play the game anymore defensively, so we're going to make you a DH.
Pablo Sandoval, 19 home runs. He's driven in 61, 301 average. Here's the 2-1, and this ball's hit a ton. 2-run home run for Sandoval into the second deck. And now he's got 20 home runs. Well, the Giants, who are starved for offense and have been all year, strike quickly in the first.
Well, a free swinger, and particularly a very good high ball hitter, and that's exactly where this fastball was. He loves the pitch above the belt, and it's a really bad mislocation by Chacin, and Pablo smoked that ball, and it was to right field in the second deck.
Aubrey Huff at the plate. Saw in the 4th strike zone, not only was that pitch up, it was up out of the zone.
Aubrey Huff, one of those guys that has experienced the hangover of having his first winning season in the World Series. Huff has struggled this year, average-wise, 245. The RBIs at 58. The home runs at 12. A year ago, 26 home runs, 86 RBIs, and he hit 45 points higher at 290.
Now we mentioned Cody Ross also, who was sensational down the stretch last year after he picked up on a waiver claim from Florida. He's had a tough year. And Huff goes to first. 2 quick outs. And then the single by Beltran, the home run by Sandoval, now a walk to Huff. That'll bring up Brandon Belt.
Still feeling his way around the big leagues. And what I mean by that, folks, he has struggled mightily against certain teams, and then other teams he seems to hit well. He's a guy that can come out and go for 12 and then go 4 for 4 and have the long ball. Here he grounds out to Mark Ellis to end the inning, but the Giants put 2 on the board.
They do. Sandoval's 20th of the year. On the Pablo Sandoval home run of the second deck in right. Dexter Fowler at 270 with an on-base percentage of 367 will bat first for the Rockies. And Jim Tracy has penciled in the next 8 this way. Mark Ellis, who went 4 for 5 yesterday, he has the average 285. Cargo hit a 2-run home run and drove in 3 in yesterday's victory over Milwaukee. Seth Smith will bat cleanup, then Wigginton, Pacheco, Chris Inetta in front of Tommy Field, and then the pitcher Chacin. Ryan Vogelsong, an all-star this year. He was pitching in Japan last year. He was a non-roster invitee. He's one of the great stories in baseball in 2011. But of late, George, he's pitched well, but has lost his last 5 decisions because San Francisco flat out has not scored when he's been on the hill.
4 runs total when he started, but only 3 when he's been on the mound. 0.78. Think about that. I mean, that's not good for what he's been able to accomplish because he has pitched well. 6th lowest earned run average in the National League, 2.66. Runners in scoring position. You've hit 200. You look at these and you say, and then you got to ask yourself, how's the record what it is? Dave Righetti speaks very highly of this veteran that has come back from Japan and pitched well.
4 major league organizations, and he pitched for 2 different clubs in Japan. Bruce Bochy made him one of his selections for the All-Star team this summer. That had to be the farthest thing from his mind when he went to Scottsdale in March.
Well, what was interesting, I remember he made the emergency start against the Rockies. And he went 3 innings, retired 9 in a row, struck out 5, and I'm saying, is this the same guy I really watched in Pittsburgh? It's not, it doesn't even look like the same pitcher. Well, going to Japan, obviously, and being more mature in his way to pitch a ball game, he'll still touch 94 occasionally. But comfortable 88, 91 with sink and cut, curveball, Throw a slider mixed with it. Throw a changeup with it.
One ball, two strikes. It remains on Dexter Fowler. Dexter hitting .306 over his last 20 games. All 5 of his home runs have come in the last couple of weeks. Noticed in the 5th inning at Fenway, first of 4, Tampa and Boston, and the separation in the wild card, 4 games, and Tampa's leading 4-1. Swung on and missed. Vogelsong strikes out Fowler. Here's San Francisco on defense. Brandon Belt, a work in progress as an outfielder. We'll see how he covers the Ponderosa. Cody Ross is in center. Beltran, the former center fielder, is in right. Sandoval, Brandon Crawford, Jeff Keppinger up the middle. Aubrey Huff's at first, and Hector Sanchez is behind the plate. There's Brandon Belt. Off the plate, ball 1. Home plate umpire is Angel Campos. Sam Holbrook's at first, Paul Schreiber at second, and Joe West is at third base. Joe, of course, is the crew chief. Here's the 1-0, and that ball is chopped foul. Rockies are 38-36 at home. And after this 7-game homestand, they'll go on the road for 7, 4 in Houston, and then they'll conclude the season against the Giants at AT&T. Inside on Mark, it's 2-1. Again, just to reiterate what we chatted about off the top of the broadcast, who would have believed that these two clubs would be playing for a whole bunch here this week and then a couple of weeks from now.
And if you talk to the Giant personnel, that's one thing they talked about. The Rockies were going to be the team that could obviously unseat them out of the National League West and participate in the postseason. And it's been talked to an awful lot, but Bruce Bochy respects this club, respects what Jim Tracy does as a manager, and unfortunately this team has not performed, the Rockies, nor has his Giants, to their capabilities.
This is lined toward Cody Ross, and he's going to make the catch. So Mark Ellis continues to sting the baseball. Now, Cody Ross is somebody I visited with in the Giant clubhouse earlier, and he stated basically the same thing. He's in shock over both situations, where his club is, and also that the Rockies are where they are. You know, from afar, you know, you study and figure going into a season the teams that are going to be the toughest teams in the National League, and he thought that it would come down to the Giants and the Rockies late in the season to win the division.
Well, this series, as it did a year ago about the same time, the Rockies trailed by 1 on a Friday night. Tim Lincecum made the start, shut out the Rockies, or beat the Rockies. And then, you know, all of a sudden you look at it down the road, the Rockies after that had a tailspin. It was not fun.
Lost 13 of their final 14 after blowing that 6-1 lead in LA. Cargo out in front on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carlos individually, some numbers out there for him. Right under 300 and 297. 4 home runs shy of 30. 8 ribbies shy of 100. Despite missing some time with that wrist injury. And that's a hard smash to short. And Crawford will throw out Gonzalez. Crawford shaded up the middle. 2-0 San Francisco. We'll go to the second.
Lead over the Rockies as we make our way to the top of the second inning. Earlier today, before the ball game, Rockies manager Jim Tracy announced that Aaron Cook will likely make the start the last home game of this 2011 season. That will be Wednesday, the 21st, against the San Diego Padres. He said it's a gesture on behalf of the organization to allow the winningest pitcher in franchise history to be able to perform in front of the home crowd for possibly the last time. That, you know, he's only worn a Rockies uniform in his entire career, and Jim Tracy said that Aaron Cook has always handled all of the ups and downs and everything that has come his way with absolute class. So Aaron Cook likely getting the start on Wednesday the 21st. He will get a couple of relief innings in there to make sure he's ready to go for the start on Wednesday, guys.
So Aaron Cook, it looks like, will start Wednesday. And he's 3-9 this year with a high ERA. And if it is Aaron's final appearance at Coors Field, he has a lot to be proud of. I mean, you go back, obviously, to the near tragedy on the mound many years ago with the blood clots and how he battled back from that. He was an all-star a few years ago, pitched 3 innings at Yankee Stadium in that ball game that would not end in the Bronx. The all-time winningest pitcher in Colorado Rockies history. Brandon Crawford. And here's the 1-0 to Crawford. That's down 2-0. "59 degrees our game time temperature." Crawford's been back and forth a couple times this year. And right now he has a reputation for a good glove and I'll put it charitably, developing as a hitter.
Yeah, that's you're being nice. I mean, I talked to my son Parker, and then I talked to Darryl Scott, the pitching coach at Modesto, and it wasn't long ago that he was in the California League and not a very good breaking ball hitter. You'll make the mistake on him, he can hurt you a little bit. One thing he can do, he can catch the baseball and turn it. If you think of all the shortstops they've had since Rich Aurelia had that great year, it seems like every year they're running out another shortstop all the time.
That's why many fans in San Francisco, and I'm sure many in the organization as well, would like to see Brian Sabean put the full court press on and the free agent to be Jose Reyes. We'll see how the winter turns out. Well, here was the record at the break. The Giants led the division over surprising Arizona by 3. The Rockies were in third, 8.5 back. Here's how it's gone since the break. The Giants 27-30. The Rockies an identical 27-30. Arizona's played 18 games above 500. And then quietly, the other team that surprised, everybody wants to talk about the McCourt situation. The Dodgers are 8 over in the second half.
Yeah, amazingly, they played great baseball the last 3 weeks to get to that spot. Just 1 game under 500 overall for the season right now.
1 on, Vogelsong at the plate, and he's not bunting, and he chops it over the head of Ty Wigginton.
191 hitter coming into the ball game, so obviously he can swing the bat a little bit. With the infield drawn in, you can see Ty, he steps in on the grass. Not an opportunity to make what would have been a very easy play, a double play ball. On this, now all of a sudden you got first and second, top of the order, and 1 out.
But you know what? To me, the focus shouldn't be on that chopped base hit. It's got to be on the fact that the reoccurring theme with Jhoulys Chacín is he walks a guy who's a very light-hitting 8-hole hitter in Brandon Crawford out 5 pitches.
He's leading the National League among starters in walks. And to have a 1-out walk to the 8-hole hitter, you're just creating a situation you don't want to be in. He's in it now.
Yeah. Cody Ross at the plate. Fly ball to center field. Ross is another guy, George. It'll be a free agent at the end of the year. And I know he hasn't had the same kind of season with the impact that he's had last year, but he has a very good reputation in baseball. He's a good two-way player. Despite his somewhat diminutive size, he does hit the ball out of the ballpark. Got 13 this year, 99 for his career. Here's the 1-0. And I don't know if this is hit hard enough for 2. And that's a bad throw by Field. And in to score comes Crawford. It had to have just slipped because it was nowhere near Mark Ellis. The grass did have to get some moisture on it, even though the tarp was on the field for a good portion of the afternoon. But watch this throw. It's way off.
Not even close. Almost 8 to 10 feet away. And you saw the reaction of Thomas Field after the throw. That allowed Crawford to make it a 3-0 ball game. Second and third and one out, and dangerous bats coming up with Keppinger, who's hit .290 this year. Then, of course, Beltran following. First error of his big league career, Tommy Field.
And at the tail end of the video replay, you could see him as soon as he threw it, and he whipped his head around in disgust. The next thing he did is he wiped his hands on the back of his pants. His right hand, his throwing hand. Obviously, he picked up a wet baseball. He just had to make sure, one, I think he was concerned about trying to be quick at turn 2. Oh, and 2 on Keppinger.
Well, the Giants proved they're not afraid to get rid of some money. They got rid of Roland. They also got rid of Tejada, 2 pretty high-priced veteran guys, and tried to replace them with some better players. Trying to get to the very back of that box, get a longer look, and let it travel deep into the zone. Keppinger's always been a little one of those guys, just more of a pronounced open stance now.
0-2, and Keppinger hits it to deep center field. Dex will make the catch. Here comes Vogelsong with the 4th Giant run, and Ross will go from second to third for Keppinger's 34th RBI. And in that situation, that's not where you want to locate the ball. 0-2 give Keppinger an opportunity, an easier opportunity to lift the baseball. Look at this.
Well, it is. This second mistake, this almost looks like a changeup coming out of the hand. I mean, you saw the 3 fingers roll off the baseball, but to elevate it that high and with that much velocity, you got to have more deception on that pitch.
Beltran a single last inning. 4-0 San Francisco. And when they score 4 runs or more in a ball game this year, they're 49-9, which is the second best winning percentage in the game to Philadelphia, who amazingly are 67-12 when they score 4. And that goes under Jordan Pacheco. And right now the Rockies are playing like this is a Texas League game. 5-0. I mean, that's an easy ground ball. It's hit pretty hard, but it's right at Jordan Pacheco.
Looked like he closed his glove up early. Not any more disappointed than what Field was that he wasn't able to make a play on this baseball. They're both showing their reaction, getting this chance. 3rd error on Pacheco.
Sandoval, who hit a 2-run home run, is at the plate. That was a bad miss by Chacin there. 2 errors in the inning. 5-0 Giants. We're in the second. And that's going to bounce its way to the center fielder, Dexter Fowler. And going first to third is Carlos Beltran. This is an ugly inning. And it's not like the first inning was real pretty.
No, it sure wasn't. You made some mistakes there. Base hit, the home run. Bob Apodaca, long walk to the mound. You're looking at a 5-0 deficit that the Rockies are under here right now. And really, when you go out in a situation, it's body language. What are you sending out here? You know, Bob's getting after him pretty good right now about attacking it. It's saying, yeah, we've got a big bullpen down there, but let me tell you something. I want you to fight to get out of this inning. And if you don't start making pitches, you're going to get hurt pretty bad. You got Huff, and then you got Belt, 2 left-handers.
Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. You were talking about fight. The great Willie Mays. Baseball's a game, yes. It is also a business. But what it most truly is disguised combat. For all its gentility, its almost leisurely pace. Baseball is violence under wraps. Very interesting description of the game that some believe Willie Mays was better than anybody at. You look at his entire package. Breaking ball, a strike on Aubrey Huff. He walked his first time up. Beltran's at third, Sandoval at first. Huff, the 8th man to hit here in the 2nd inning. The Giants up 5-0. 1-1. Arizona is idle tonight. You see 5 runs, Frage, up on the board in the 2nd inning. You think, boy, the pitcher's probably throwing a bazillion pitches. That was just his 36th pitch, which, given the situation, is not awful.
No, that's pretty good, because the 1st inning, even though he gave up 2 runs on a home run, there wasn't a ton of them thrown. Man, oh man. Well, including tonight's 5 on the board. The last 5 ball games, they've outscored their opponent 27-7. And Drew, that's a team that doesn't have offense. Now all of a sudden you start to average 5.4 runs per game.
George, they came in with 506 runs into the ball game tonight, the fewest runs scored in the big leagues this year. And now it's 3-2 on Aubrey Huff.
Yeah, and interesting, they've given up 517. So, you know, is there a lot of 1-run games? You bet. 83% of them, I think I read that they were that many, or down a little lower number. But when you're only getting outscored by 11 runs, or I should say 13 runs, it tells you something, doesn't it, about their ball club? They're not going to score a lot. They're not going to give up a lot.
Yeah, 56% of their games have been decided by 2 runs or less.
That's a big number.
That's a big number. And that's another walk to Huff. Chacin was ahead 1-2. And now the bases are loaded for Brandon Belt. And that's not good when your pitching coach has to get on the phone and call up Jim Wright in the bullpen and say, hey, we got to get somebody up. See, Aaron Cook has been working out of the bullpen, and he would be one of the candidates if there's a long haul situation. I say he's been working out of the bullpen. He hasn't been called upon yet.
No, he's been sitting down there. He's been hanging out. His name's listed that he could pitch out of the bullpen. Just hadn't happened yet.
Oh, 0-1 on Belt. And for Chacin, these guys are professionals, Jim Miller. We all realize that. And the last thing you want to do, even though the games from a Rocky standpoint are inconsequential, they have great meaning in that Chacin doesn't want to go into the offseason having had a lousy final month. 1-2.
But has he been ahead of the other hitters? He's ahead here of Brandon Belt. Now you just got to complete it, the mission, and get out of it. Belt's been in a tough spot all year with runners in scoring position. 3 for 20.
Well, you said 3 for 20. I remember spring training, and the Giants were singing his praises that he would hit 320, not being a 3 for 20 slide at any point. He did 320 with plenty of pop. They were really excited about Brandon Belt after a tremendous year last year at 3 different levels, but it has not happened yet at this level. Ground ball to Pacheco. He'll run to the bag. So the Giants hit around in what could best be described as a flat, ugly inning for the Rockies. 5-0 Giants. playing shortstop while Troy gets that injured hip healthy. Pretty good guy to learn from.
He's talking about how the ball plays in this ballpark with this infield.
Seth Smith at the plate. Seth takes ball one. We're going to have George Gwozdecky on in a little bit. George, of course, is a longtime head coach, terrific head coach of the University of Denver hockey program. They get going pretty soon. And a good portion of their games you can catch here on Root Sports again. Smith at 285. Getting cleanup tonight. That catches the corner 2-1. Seth hit 5th last night. Giambi hit cleanup. Rockies won 6-2 in Milwaukee to snap a 6-game losing streak at Miller Park. By the way, what is the deal right now with all the Brewer free agents, big name free agents, deciding that this would be a good time to talk about what may happen in the offseason, i.e. Prince Fielder saying, yeah, it looks like I'll be playing somewhere else. It's been a great run with Ryan Braun. And then K-Rod saying today that he's a little disappointed he's not closing games. I mean, did they look at their record?
Well, the other guy's 39 for 39, 42 of 44, talking about Axford. But the other thing I would say about this, and this is the thing that disappointed me, is I watched a professional like Albert Pujols handling his situation in St. Louis wonderfully. And then you hear these two guys running their mouths and talking about what they're doing in Milwaukee. Well, it doesn't take long to look a little bit deeper. They're both represented by Scott Boras. And you would think Scott would educate them, which he has with numerous free agents. Stay out of the paper, do not negotiate in the papers, and just play the game.
Especially your club has a chance to do something very special.
You don't need a distraction right now.
1 out, Ty Wigginton at the plate. Well, Vogelsong with 5 runs of support already has more than he's had in his last 5 outings.
They're thinking the same thing. Hey, what am I doing here? That's not what I'm used to having. But he still is going to have that mindset. He's going to throw a shutout. I can guarantee you that. He's pitched well against the Rockies this year. Looking for his 21st career win. He's 20 and 29.
Jordan Pacheco on deck. There's Jeff Keppinger at second. He was part of a trade many moons ago that involved Ty Wigginton. Keppinger went from Pittsburgh to the Mets. Part of the package that went back to Pittsburgh included Ty Wigginton.
Well, with the injury to Freddie Sanchez, they needed a second baseman and they wanted a veteran guy, and this is the guy they chose and plucked away from the Houston Astros.
And it was a good get for Brian Sabian. I mean, Keppinger's always been a solid offensive player. 281 career average. And he's held up his end of the bargain. He's hit just beneath that in a Giant uniform. Three and 2 on Wigginton. And another strikeout for Vogelsong. He has struck out 3 of the first 5. Who wants tacos, fans? When the Rockies do score 7 or more, they're going to need to hit that number, it looks like, tonight to get a W. Go to Taco Bell between 4 and 6 inside the state the following day to get your Rockies tacos special. Jordan Pacheco, 1 for 4 last night.
Three errors committed, in my opinion, in the last inning. The 1 out walk to Crawford, and then, of course, the one by Tommy Field, double play gets you out of it. and then the Pacheco ground ball, but it all started with the 1-out walk to the 8-hole hitter.
One and one on Pacheco. And that's part of the development process with Jhoulys Chacín. Does he have very good stuff? No question about it. The league's hit only .223 against him. But in tight situations, you have to be able to do the little things that get you a W, as opposed to either getting you a no decision or gives you a loss. Yeah, there was bad defense played behind him, but to your point, George, you can't walk a light hitting minor league call up hitting in the 8-hole.
Well, and when a player fails behind you defensively, turn, look, and say, I'll pick you up this time. Let's get another ground ball. Well, he did that, and unfortunately went between this guy's legs. But you just work your way back through the ball game.
Pacheco, the first base runner for the Rockies. It comes with 2 outs in the second in front of Chris Iannetta. Toyota Talk will come your way, as it does every night in the 6th inning. Text Toyota followed by a space, and then your comments, questions, anything on your mind concerning the Rockies and Major League Baseball. The schedule, for instance, came out yesterday. What did you happen to highlight about the schedule? And you can send all that information to 720-720.
Why don't you buy me that truck?
That one,
and I'll drive
that particular one.
I'll drive it for 3 years, and then I'll give it to Jacob when he turns 16.
That sounds like a deal.
4-wheel drive.
If we buy, if we purchase that particular one,
yeah,
we're gonna need some help getting it off there.
They'll do that. If you buy it, they'll get it off for you. Trust me.
I bet you they will. That's a strike. 1-1. Chris hitting .348 against the Giants this year, but that's not a surprise, because in his career he's hit .336 in San Francisco. And the guy he owns, the guy that Chris can't figure out how the guy's in the big leagues, is Tim Lincecum. 1-2. I say that in jest, of course, but Chris has put together big numbers against Lincecum. Freak pitch yesterday. There's a base hit.
Now he's hit .600 against Vogelsong. Curveball at 77, hung up in the zone. Chris hadn't played in a week. Comes up with a base hit line drive left field. Trying to spin that hook and get it to the outer half. Pretty good pitch by Vogelsong. A better result, though, for Chris Iannetta.
Tommy had his first big league hit in yesterday's ball game in the 3rd inning. Punched a single to right. 2 on and 2 outs. A 2 count on Tommy Field. There's a base hit last night. Oh, we were bragging about what Chris has done against Tim Lincecum. The numbers officially: 6 for 15, a .400 average. He has a home run. He's driven in 4. He also has walked 8 times against Lincecum, so he's been on base 64% of the time. Lincecum has another tremendous ERA. He just doesn't have the wins because they haven't scored for him either. Lincecum 12-12 with a .259 ERA. That's after winning 3-1 yesterday against the Padres. And more than a strikeout per inning pitched again. 212 punch-outs, George, 205 innings.
Well, again, run support played an issue for him, and again, that's, you know, this ball club doesn't do that. They just don't. I think what was happening to Matt Cain all those years, it got contagious with everyone else.
The league's hitting a whopping 215 against Lincecum this year.
Well, look down their whole pitching staff.
That's something else Cody Ross said. He said the single reason that the Giants aren't in first place or where they thought they'd be is on the offense.
And I will say this, if Buster Posey was healthy, their offense would be obviously much better than what it is. Unfortunately, they lost a 4-hole hitter that's pretty good. Think about this, in 2010, their catcher contribution, 274, 21 and 76, 77 runs scored. This year, 229, 9 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 45 runs scored. Pretty big difference.
Tommy Field battling away. And another foul ball. They just brought another pitcher to the big leagues, George, that's throwing the ball well, and Eric Surkamp, who the Rockies will see later on in this series, product of Moeller High School in Cincinnati. And Vogelsong wins the battle. He ends up striking out the side. Rockies got a hit and a walk. They leave 2 on. They trail 5-0 as we go to the third. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By AT&T, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By McDonald's, brighten up your day with a free small premium roast coffee at McDonald's, only until September 25th. I'm loving it. And by the Colorado Lottery. Mega Millions from the Colorado Lottery, where jackpots are available every Tuesday and Friday. Mega jackpots, in fact. That's one of the prettiest sights in Denver. From City Park, across the skyline at the Great Rocky Mountains. 5-0 Giants as we go to the top of the third with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman, Alana Rizzo downstairs. And he, of course, is the longtime coach. I was going to call you the skipper. That's a baseball thing. But the longtime head hockey coach at the University of Denver. How you been, George?
I've been very well. You know, I come up here once a year. You guys are nice enough to have me up here. George always looks good. But, you know, your
What is that?
wardrobe,
What is that? Wait.
your
Wow.
wardrobe, you always take it up another level. I mean, I don't know where you get your clothing from, but you take this up.
I think
to
you and
notch
I think
all
you
the
really
time.
think so?
I think you and I both know. I think you and I both know where you normally. I know you didn't get this where we get our clothing, but
Oh, we got a sales pitch going here.
this
Let
is
me
a
get on to all
shameless
this
plug.
here. Okay.
I'll take Frazier in there sometime. Clean him up a little bit.
Do they have tall
There you go.
clothes?
Sure they do.
Oh, absolutely.
This ball well hit left center field. Seth Smith's out there, and he'll make the catch. And Hector Sanchez is retired. Let's get to the Pios. I mean, you get going. An exhibition against McGill coming up the first of the month.
Well, the first month, a couple weeks from now, and then the following week we have another exhibition game against the University of the United States National Development Program, and then we get things really rocking out in Boston the following week, middle of October at Boston College on Friday, Boston University on Saturday.
You had a very gifted goaltender go down. I believe he was with the Canadian developmental team. Is that right? National team.
Well, he was going to be just approaching the tryout for the Canadian junior national program that competes in the World Junior Tournament. Yeah.
So he's out for the year. Or
no,
not necessarily.
Well, we're hoping not. We're hoping to get him back. He had knee surgery back in mid-June, and we're hoping to have him back. It's about a six and a half month recovery period. So we're hoping to have him back sometime mid-January if everything goes according to plan. And so far it is.
You have been oh so close the last few years. This ball is going to be a base hit to center field for Brandon Crawford. And you're no stranger to national championships, having won a couple of them. As you look at the nucleus, and
I know
you're
where
not
this
gonna
is
make no,
going.
but you're not going to make projections. But
No, but you're asking him to, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Where are you going to finish?
That's exactly right. Thanks very much. Last year's team, I think, shocked everybody, including yours truly. We had lost so much from the year before, a team that was supposed to win the national title. We had lost guys through graduation, Rhett Rockshani and Tyler Rugsager, and then we lost three really good players, Joe Colbert and Patrick Virkosh, and especially our All-American goaltender, Mark Chevery. So last year's team was a rebuilding year. And then, end of October, our top senior center, Jesse Martin, goes down with that really bad neck injury that put him up, ended his career. So, at that point, it kind of how do I say this? Everybody knew it was going to be a rebuilding year for us, and it wasn't. I mean, this team just took off, led by people like Drew Shore and freshman Jason Zucker and young Sam Britton, our goaltender, who came in and did a great job.
It's a double play ball, and they turn it over. You know what we're going to do, George? You're going to stick around a half inning because we have more to do with you, and that was a quick inning, fortunately, for Chassin. Vogelsong rolls into a 5-4-3. More with DU head coach George Gwozdecki next. Decky, the head coach of the University of Denver Pioneers. You know what? I'm going to have you continue, but you made a marvelous point a moment ago. I know you're a huge baseball fan, and you watch the
Rockies fan.
You're a huge Rockies fan. You watch all the time. We've discussed that year in and year out when you're up here. You said, you know what? The goaltenders are those guys standing out there 60 feet 6 inches
on
away.
The bump. Yep.
Yeah, because when you pitch well, you win a lot of baseball games, and when you get great goaltending, a lot of other stuff may or may not happen, but you win more than you lose, don't you?
That's exactly right. And you know, we were talking about you know, our goaltending situation last year. Sam Britton came in and did a tremendous job. So last year was the year that everybody thought we were going to be rebuilding, and really shocked ourselves, shocked everybody, and we were so close. You know, we chased North Dakota down for the regular season title, the playoff title, and even in a national tournament we saw them. This year we've got almost everybody returning. Drew Shore, who's a junior captain here from Denver.
Hold on one second. Why don't you stop there? Because how many Shores are there? Because they keep coming.
Well, so far we have 2 in our program.
And you had one who graduated, right?
Not yet. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Right.
Drew Shore and Nick Shore are both. Drew's a junior, Nick's a sophomore.
And I know there's a 12-year-old. There's another young Shore
there's
that's pretty good.
There's a middle one that is playing his final year with the U.S. National Development Program, and I've got to be really careful what I can and can't say, because he hasn't signed a national letter of intent yet.
I see.
With anybody. And then there's a younger one as well. So, but I really can't.
Well, I can say
let
this.
me say that we love the 2 older brothers.
Okay, and I'll say this, Mr. and Mrs. Shore, you got to have your kid go to, he's got to hang out with the older brothers, right, George?
Well, that's the plan.
I'm kind of mum on that deal. I don't want to get called into any courtrooms.
But I will tell you this: that it's great to see Colorado youth hockey just continuing to blossom, and great young players. I mean, one of your sidekicks, Mr. Houston, has a son who's a very good young player, and so it's and we're the beneficiaries of when the Avalanche came to town in '95. And interest in hockey is just and
George,
we've really improved on that.
George and I asked you this last year. How many kids now in the program are from the state of Colorado?
We've got 3 in our freshman class. We've got 8 from the state of Colorado.
Awesome.
On a roster of 28. So that's it's pretty good numbers.
It's a big number because of your program's so elite. That's why it's a big number, and how great the players are here. I want to ask you this: last year, everybody said rebuilding, and then you shocked yourself and everyone. When did you know that it had turned a corner? It went from rebuilding that boys were pretty good. You know what?
I think that it didn't happen overnight. Certainly, it was probably around Thanksgiving or shortly thereafter.
Was it in a practice? Was it in a game?
No.
Was it something you saw?
No, it wasn't. In fact, the exact opposite was true. When Boston College came here back in the middle of October last year, they were the defending national champions, and we chased them. I mean, literally chased them all weekend long. I mean, we didn't have the puck at all. They toyed with us. They were the gold standard at that point of the year. Now,
that'll work. Dexter slices one to left. Belt cuts it off. Chassin will go first to third. Belt did a nice job. He held Dexter to a single.
Now, Norman at first baseman, too. That was a very nice job.
Go ahead, George.
But, it was one of those things where slowly we started to gain traction. Slowly we started to be able to, especially our freshmen, who were so key. We knew we had to play them and play a lot of them. And as they developed, our team started to develop. And all of a sudden, we were neck and neck, toe to toe with North Dakota right down to the end of the season and into the playoffs and the national tournaments. And, one extra save, one extra shot that goes either way, and all of a sudden we're in the Frozen Four.
I know that the WCHA will not be the WCHA as we know it in a couple of years, but I've always believed that playing in that league sets you up very well for the postseason, because typically the national championship either is going to come out of the WCHA or you're going to have something significant to say about who wins the national championship. And obviously last year UMD ends up winning at Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. I mean, the WCHA over the course of 60 plus years has been the top conference, the hockey conference in the country. They've won the most national championships. Again, last year, as you said, Duluth wins it. So there's no question that it's certainly to compete in the WCHA prepares us and every other team for the national tournament. And Certainly 2 years from now, it's going to be a little bit different, but you know, we're proud members of the WCHA, and we know that this year is going to be a real challenge for us as well as every other team in the league.
Yep. And I know on television this year, among several games, we'll have CC again, which is that goes without saying what DU and CC
now, are you going to announce
the
entire schedule right now, or is it just going to be a little bit of a tease?
Just a tease, because you'll also see there's a base hit from Mark Ellis. You'll also see Minnesota Duluth on that schedule. Chassin comes home with the Rockies' first run. Mark Ellis, 4 hits last night. A line out to center his first time up, and he whistles a single to left here, George.
Breaking ball again, came back to haunt Vogelsong. That ball stayed up right in the middle of the zone, made very hittable. The mistake, walking Chassin to lead the inning off a pitcher, and walks him. That started the trouble, and it's been carried over by Dexter Fowler and now by Ellis.
It's also an 8-game hitting streak for Mark Ellis. Bruce Bochy, with that concerned look on his face. His club jumped out to the 5-0 lead, but he's seen a lot of ball games at Coors Field. Here's Cargo with 2 on and nobody out.
Tampa has jumped all over Boston, 8-1 in the 7th.
Who'd you follow growing up, George?
You know, when Montreal got their baseball franchise, they became a huge Expos fan, and that's when I really started to follow baseball. And obviously, there's so many great players that came through that franchise before they moved.
In that great year that unfortunately didn't get finished because of the strike.
Well, there's no question. You look at some of those guys that were on that team and where they went to and their careers afterwards. It's just like, wow, what a team that was almost an all-star team.
Absolutely, it really was. 94.
Yeah.
Of course, Larry Walker came here. That worked out well for the Rockies and for Walker. 0-2 the count on Carlos Gonzalez. Dexter Fowler at second, Mark Ellis at first. Chassin, who led off with a walk, has scored the Rockies' first run.
Well, the other teams I think of with Montreal is when I competed, you had 2 Hall of Famers. You had Gary Carter, who was a catcher there, Andre Dawson, an outfielder. I mean, they had some teams there at that time, too, that were really good. Steve Rogers, nicknamed Cy for his ability to pitch up there. Warren Cromartie was another great player. Tim Wallach, third baseman on that same ball club. They were good.
My first baseball here with Montreal was Rusty Staub.
Uh-oh.
Le Grand Orange.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Rusty Staub. I followed him not only when he was in Montreal very closely, when he was probably the best, not probably, he was the best pinch hitter in the game when he was with the Mets. A little later on in his career. 1-2 on Cargo. And Vogelsong pulls the string. Gonzalez has gone 1 out. I want to highlight some more things on the DU hockey schedule this year. It will start Friday, November 4th, when Minnesota Duluth is in town to take on your Pios. Mentioned the CC game in February. We'll announce next week the full slate of games. Last night, we were talking about DU hockey. Tavis Strand, who's been involved in DU hockey, the coverage of it for many years. And we're talking about what a great arena Magnus Arena is to go and watch you guys play, because it's so intimate.
Well, we've got a little over 6,000 seats, and you're right. Because of the size of it, because of its the way it was built, every seat's a great seat. And no matter whether you're down by the glass or up in what they consider the nosebleed section, up 30 rows up, you can see the game perfectly. And no matter what vantage point you have, and it's the kind of building that when it gets rocking, it is really difficult for the opposing team to play, not only because of the emotion that our crowd gives us, but just because of the noise. It's very difficult to communicate.
You know, there's a guy in baseball who's doing pretty well with the Milwaukee Brewers. He's got some charisma, and he rubs some guys the wrong way a little bit on the opposition, by the name of Nigel Morgan, who played in the Western Hockey League. I know you know he was a pretty good hockey player.
He was. He certainly was. I think he's picked the right sport.
Yeah.
But pretty
so
good
in other
player.
words, that's a nice way of saying that he wasn't very good at hockey, but he was really good at baseball.
I would say he's probably better at baseball than he was at hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I'd throw it out
Just
there. You
semantics.
have a lot better judgment of the hockey side than I do, I can tell you.
Did you see him play at any point when he was still playing hockey?
No. You know, the Western Hockey League is not a league that we can play. Those kids can play NCAA hockey.
Smith walks on 4 pitches. Now they're loaded up for Ty Wigginton. Dave's old buddy, Dave Righetti. Dave's old buddy. George's old buddy, Dave Righetti.
He's Dave's old buddy, too.
Yeah. He's got a friend named Dave somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere he has to have. Yeah, go ahead and kind of calm things down. He does a pretty good job with this, talking to everyone, you know, and it's more about not your stuff at the time. It's about how you're using your stuff. You made great pitches to get Gonzalez out. Then you started to treat Seth Smith a little differently. You fell behind in the count, didn't work your way through it. And understand Hector Sanchez, the young catcher behind the plate, has not been used an awful lot with him. Ty Wigginton has 14 opportunities this year with the bases loaded. He's come up fairly short 13 times. 1 base hit. We'd like to change that here.
So when Righetti goes to the mound, George, will he be talking to his pitchers more about the mechanics, or is it more of a mental approach that he wants?
The mental side of things an awful lot. You know, if they feel they're rushing a little bit, they may bring up mechanics, but it's more between him and the catcher, their communication of what you're trying to pull off. You know, you've got a right-handed Wigginton coming up. You have a very young catcher behind the plate in Hector Gomez, who, quite honestly, started the year was working in San Jose in high A, and then he moved up the ladder quickly and got to the big leagues. He hasn't seen Wigginton. He hasn't seen Smith. Yeah. They want to make sure they're on the same page, because when you got the bases loaded, if you've got to do everything as a pitcher, it makes it a little harder.
Yeah. Here's the 1-0 to Wigginton, and that's outside and down. 2-0.
With a 5-1 lead, and you start to pitch around everything, you get into so many hitters counts, it's digging a deeper hole for you.
Boy, this is what you dream about offensively. Being at the plate, 2-0 count, the bag's full. Now it's the Giants' turn to get on that bullpen phone.
Bochy's not going to mess around with
It's a double play ball.
Yep.
There's one, and there's 2. Rockies had a great opportunity to get in it quickly. They do get a run, but they fall short, hitting into the double play. George Gwozdecky, it's always great to see you.
Drew, my pleasure. Yep. George, thank you very much.
Fun, you bet.
My pleasure.
Give me the clothing store. We can't put the name out there, I guess, but wherever.
I'll tell
Good
you.
Old Doug takes care of us.
It's an old Littleton. It's a great place. 5-1 Giants. Rockies 1. Time to check in with Alana Rizzo. She has tonight's Fast Cash Sideline Report. It's brought to you by Fast Cash Gold Centers, where you'll always get 40% more for your gold. Alana, talk hockey.
Talk hockey. I'm excited to get back on the ice with Coach Gwozdecky and the DU Pioneers, but I also want to talk about the favorite things. You guys remember Oprah? You probably watched all the time, I'm sure, before she went off the air. She used to have these shows, Oprah's Favorite Things. Well, the Colorado Rockies have favorite things as well, and who better to know that than their wives? The Rockies' wives are hosting their annual charity event this Saturday from 5 to 8 p.m. Here in the main concourse area in center field where I'm standing, silent auction of baskets filled with all of their husbands' favorite things. You can bid on the baskets, and all of the money, all the proceeds go to Rockies charity. So come on out, bid on the baskets, see what your favorite players like in terms of their favorite things, and raise some money for a good cause. It's always good to see Coach Gwozdecki up in the booth. We can't wait to get out there and cover the Pioneers, guys.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun, as we always do with the DU Pioneers, not only in hockey but also in basketball. And Alana, truth be told, you know, full disclosure.
Yes.
When it was a tough moment for us when Oprah's show went off the air.
Did you cry? Did you need some tissue?
Well, no, because here's the situation. George and I, a typical 2-1 is.
Did you say I cried when Oprah went off the air?
Listen.
She's still on air.
No, she's not right now.
No, she's not,
She's
George.
not, George. Because
She has her own network.
Yeah, that has. Well, let's start. But listen. Do you remember how a lot of afternoons when there's a night ball game?
Must be your twin sister I watch all the time. Go ahead.
What in the world are you talking about?
You and
I'm not sure what he's doing either.
You and I would sit down and watch Oprah together.
I just
Folks,
wish I could have been a guest
right
at
now,
the studio.
I'm going to
with her
tell you all
favorite
something right
things.
now. This is the honest truth. I watch American Pickers, Bond Stars, Swamp People, one of my favorite. I do not watch
Oprah's
Oprah.
favorite thing show.
Oprah, I do not watch.
One of George Fraser's
I've not
favorite
watched.
shows.
I have watched The View only because I was stuck in an airport.
Oh, dear. Okay. Well, this has gone really well. So just come out on Saturday
Yeah.
and bid on the baskets for the players' favorite things. We can forget about Oprah. She has plenty of money, guys.
You think?
Center field. Dexter's got it.
Where'd
Kepinger's
Alana go?
retired.
We were just enjoying the conversation. Where'd she go? Where'd Alana go? I mean, we were just starting a very good conversation.
She got us talking about Oprah.
Was it Oprah we were talking about? I
didn't
thought
like
it was.
the-
I thought
I
it was
didn't-
Jimmy on Swamp People.
I
What were
didn't
we
like.
talking about?
I didn't like the episode where Cruz was jumping on the couch. That wasn't in that episode. That's a good inning for Chassin. 1, 2, 3. Rockies right back to the bat rack. They trail 5-1, a 6-pitch inning. Bottom of 4, Jordan Pacheco, Chris Ionetta, Tommy Field to face Ryan Vogelsong. AT&T trivia question. When was the last time a National League West team won 100 ball games in a season? That is the question for you tonight. It will not happen in 2011. If Arizona goes clean the rest of the way, they'll finish with 99 wins. Pacheco walked his first time, and he takes a strike. Once again, our thanks to George Gwozdecki, the outstanding head coach of the DU Pioneers hockey program. That's a strike also, 0-2. We'll have plenty of coverage of the Pios right here on Root Sports this winter.
$1 hot dog night's coming up, sponsored by Hebrew National, so make sure you're out for that ball game. The first through the gates you're going to get the first 10,000 will receive this. It's going to be on Tuesdays, September the 20th.
Well, you got prepared for that the last couple of days in Milwaukee because you ate the amount of hot dogs in the press room.
No, I did it out in the parking lot.
This ball's pretty well hit to left center field. And it is going to get on out of here. That's how well hit it was. Jordan Pacheco with his second home run, and both have been hit pretty much straight away.
A lot of young players would allow the errors and the miscues that he's had early in the game make him upset or disappointed with the way he had played in the game and might affect every at-bat after. Pacheco wanted to make a difference, and on a 1-2 count fastball inside. Folks, this guy can hit. Watch that back elbow really drop close to the body on an inside pitch, yet he didn't change his lower half. He used it to drive, and that's exactly what he did. Drive the ball out of the ballpark.
Chris Iannetta takes ball one. Jordan Pacheco gets the Rockies within 3. It's a 2-0 to Chris. Iannetta's played a backup role the last week or so to Willeen Rosario. And he understands the Rockies want to get a good long look at Rosario. Jim Tracy sat him down when he brought up Rosario and told him that that's what was going to take place the final few weeks, and also heaped a lot of praise on Chris for what he had done throughout the year, but in particular the last 6 weeks, both offensively and defensively. Chris in the second half has hit much better than he did in the first half, and his defense has been steady throughout the year. Tell you what, he blocks the ball, George, which is an art, very, very well. And pitchers really appreciate that.
Absolutely they do. I mean, what he has done behind the plate, calling the game. Huff's going to give chase. That ball's going to fall a little short because he started to smell that wall that he was about to run into. Well, here's some of the things that really impressed me about Chris Iannetta. As an 8-hole hitter, look at his ranks in the National League. His home runs first, doubles third, RBIs first, runs first, walks first. For 8-hole hitter, he's done his job offensively too. I know people say, well, average isn't what it's supposed to be. It's not. It's 233. Would he like to hit 290? Sure, but it's 233. But you look at the walks and everything mixed into it, had a pretty good year.
Yep, hitting just under 270 in the second half. You know, one thing we didn't talk about yesterday, Fraze?
Well, we covered a lot of subjects. Tonight we've talked about Opry, Swamp People, American Pickers, Bond Stars.
Well, yesterday we were discussing, it's fouled off, the 2012 schedule. It got released yesterday.
Yes.
And there'd been a lot of speculation, you know, Houston was going to end up in the American League. Well,
that didn't happen.
Obviously, it's not happening in 2012.
No. The Rockies are going to open up against them.
Yeah.
On the road in Houston, April the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Then they'll be home against the Giants for 3, Arizona for 3, San Diego for 3. And then we get to visit your favorite city, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh.
Those are 2 separate cities.
Well, you like those both. They're close by.
Not really.
Then you go to play the Mets.
I like Milwaukee.
Play the Mets at home, the Dodgers, and Atlanta at home.
Inside.
Probably the toughest trip coming up, quite honestly, to get serious about this with you folks, for the Rockies. For me, one of the tough trips that they'll have to go out and take is Detroit on the road, Philadelphia on the road, Texas on the road. That's
back to back.
In late June.
They're going to see some pitching. Iannetta goes down swinging against Vogelsong. That's his 6th punch out. First out of the 4th inning. Tommy Field will come up. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets. And you better do it today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies, because there's only 6 more home games after this evening.
The other trip I think that really will be difficult, Atlanta for 4, Philadelphia for 3. That's going to be in late September, October. I should say beginning of September. The season will end in October on the road with 3 games in LA and then 3 in Arizona.
So the Rockies in interleague play the American League West.
And Detroit.
And then you get Detroit. They're going to win the Central Division. We mentioned this yesterday. And then your bonus series in the National League, because the Rockies don't have a natural rivalry in interleague play. They get the Phillies, the best team in baseball, an extra series. So it's a particularly tough 2012 schedule. And it's not as if at least you get the Phillies here. You get 2 of the 3 series in the city of brotherly love.
And oh, by the way, that starting group's going to be around for a while. They've all been signed.
They're so deep, they may send Roy Oswalt to the bullpen in the postseason.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Field fouls it off. It remains 1-2. Well, Vance Worley has outpitched. He's outpitched a lot of people in the second half.
He's done a very good job for their ball club, I can tell you that.
Vogelsong strikes out Field for the 2nd time. That's 7 punch outs. Chacin walked and scored last inning. Coming up in the 6th inning, Toyota Talk. Get those emails to us. You can sound off text. I always mix that up. George, these would be texts.
What are you talking about again?
Toyota Talk. So make sure you text Toyota, followed by a space, and then your comments, perhaps about the 2012 schedule, anything on your mind baseball related. It's Toyota Talk. And get it to 720-720. 2-strike count on Chacin. 1-2.
Washington all over the Mets, 10-1. Huh. Philadelphia beat Miami 2-1. Oh, that's not till next year. Is that next year?
No,
Florida's called Miami.
That's next year, George. Yep. Two and 2 the count on Chacin. That victory for Philadelphia today, their 96th of the year. They have a terrific chance to win more than 50 at home and 50 on the road. Rockies get a run in the 4th inning. Jordan Pacheco with a long home run to center field. 5-2 Giants. In the 4th inning, it went very well. 6 pitches, in fact, for Chacin. Cody Ross hit a fly ball to left. Jeff Keppinger hit a fly ball to center field. Carlos Beltran grounded to second. That's brought to you by Excel Energy. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save energy and running your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com.
I want to ask something real quick. Have you ever had a Helton burger yet at the park?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
Yeah, you haven't had
They
one?
have onion rings or French fries? Or both? Doug, what do you think? You ever had a Helton burger, Doug? You haven't? Sam, you ever had one? You want a Helton burger, Doug? You'd like to have one? Drew, would you like to have one? Or you want me to see if they have a chicken sandwich for you?
How often have you seen me turn down food?
Not very often. Can we see the menu from here?
Here's the 1-1 fouled off. I have more people come up to me tonight inside the ballpark.
Look right here. See, this is what we're talking. I'll have that combo meal. Exactly what he's pointing at right there. Give me the combo meal. Yeah. I'm in. They want 4 of those, please.
Guy's toasting you, George. He's going to buy. Poke to left, and it's a fair ball. Pablo Sandoval's going to hunt a double. And he's got himself a double.
3 for 3. You know, Mike Kricko, who played a long time at the big league level, said, I wished I was a lot younger so I could have played with this guy. I love the way Pablo Sandoval goes about his job. Sinker down. And look at this pitch. Everything's gone on the bottom. It's like, I'm going to flip my bat out. I hope I foul it off to get a pitch I can really hit. Double. Amazing. Sliced right down the left field line. And, of course, coming off the left-handed bat, it's going to run away from Smith. And there's the panda hat. Became so popular.
Chacin's going to catch it. And he will. Remember last night we were looking at Kevin Millwood. Kevin Millwood's old school. He pointed up in the air and somebody's supposed to come catch the baseball. Chacin's he's a new breed. He's like, you know what? It's up in the air and I'm going to make sure it's an out.
Well, when you're trailing 5-2, things haven't gone away. How about Kevin Millwood last night? Another outstanding outing by Kevin Millwood. The veteran stepped right in and grabbed a hold of the opportunity presented to him because of injuries in this organization. Last night, 4 hits over 6 innings, picks up the win in the ball game.
He's been outstanding.
And a very good influence on the locker room inside.
0-1 the count on Brandon Belt. Ground ball to second, ground ball to first. Oh, and 2 the count. Belt's hitting just 188 against righties.
A good pitch.
And that average will go down further. 2 outs. His first strikeout of the night for Chacín. Time for tonight's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Vogelsong 94, Chacín 93. One of the things that's gone down, George, is the strikeout total for Chacín of late.
Well, a lot of guys swing it early because they don't want to get to the nasty slider. That's swing and miss pitch, so you swing early in counts and try to get to a hitter's count to do just that. And there's a pretty good breaking ball right there at 80 miles an hour. Not solid contact made on the baseball by Hector Sanchez. But it seems like since the start of the 3rd inning, we're seeing a lot more conviction at the way Chacín is pitching in this game. His rhythm has picked up on the mound. The determination looks stronger on the mound.
Good pitch. Hector Sanchez is in a ditch 0-2. Goes off the top by Iannetta's glove. And Sandoval will go to 3rd.
Cross up, I believe. That's why Iannetta's making that trip out to the mound right now. Because Iannetta's waiting for a baseball in this area, and he misses by almost 8 feet. And I think he was anticipating a breaking ball there, and he got fastball. Pass ball on Chris Iannetta.
Windshield damage, call Safelite Auto Glass 303-287-5000 or go to safelight.com. 2-2 the count on Hector Sanchez. Now it's 3-2. Loses Sanchez. He was way ahead. That is the 4th walk allowed in the ball game by Chacín. So that trend continues.
King Soopers and the Rockies want to salute fans this Saturday with a King Soopers lunch bag to the first 10,000. And just a quick reminder, the Rockies will have giveaways between innings in that ball game also on Saturday against the Giants.
21-year-old Sanchez is at first, and here's Brandon Crawford. Crawford a walk and a single. Here's the 75th pitch, and that's in there for a strike. Ground ball to short. Field runs to the bag, and that's all for the Giants in the 5th. Middle of inning number 5. San Francisco leading 5-2 at Coors Field. Road ahead brought to you by E470. Discover the thrill of 75 miles per hour. Cruise E470 today. 7-game homestand, the final 7 games at Coors Field in 2011. The Giants for 4, and then the Padres are in Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon. And then it's off to Houston for 4, and the season will conclude in San Francisco against the Giants the following week. That's what's ahead. And now the top of the order is ahead in the 5th inning for the Rockies. Dexter Fowler, who's 1 for 2. Mark Ellis, who's 1 for 2. And then Carlos Gonzalez looking for his first knock of the evening. Ryan Vogelsong has struck out 7. He's allowed a couple of runs on 4 hits. Rockies had him in danger in the 3rd. They had the bases loaded and 1 out. Ty Wigginton at the plate, but Ty unfortunately grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Ball 1 on Fowler. A lot to build on going into 2012 for Dexter when you look at his second half. His average was 238 when he was sent down. He's hit 300 since coming back. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. When was the last time a National League West team won 100 ball games in a season? They do a lot of beating up on each other. The Rockies know that well. It was 2003 when the Giants won 100 ball games. Mark Ellis 4 hits last night, and he had an RBI base hit in the 3rd inning. Mark will be a free agent at the end of the year. He's done a fine job with the Rockies since the trade from Oakland. So steady defensively, and he has swung the bat well. And we've said many times, he's a pro's pro. Looking at teams that could win 100 games this year, you assume Philly will get there. They won number 96 today. And they
New York.
They have 15 games left.
New York needs to win 10 to do it. And really, those are the only two teams for me, I think, that have a shot. I mean, there's other teams, obviously, they go 13-2.
Well,
that type of advantage. But Arizona's not to win 95, not to win 100.
Yeah, Detroit's got to go unbeat, don't they?
13-0. Yeah, Detroit's 87-62. They got a 13.5 game lead because Chicago, Cleveland just fell off the board. Kansas City's 64-86. Minnesota 59-89.
So it's really Philadelphia and maybe the Yankees.
Maybe, that's a long shot.
2-2. This is down the right field line, and nobody's going to get there. Mark Ellis and his wife, they have 3 little ones at home. Mark was telling me the other day, so when they get a little bit older, at the end of the baseball season, he'll take them down to Gainesville and watch the Gators play football. Of course, that's where Mark went to school, University of Florida. Good matchup this weekend. CU and CSU Saturday morning. We'll have an hour pregame show and a big postgame show. It's good to see Sonny Lubick and Gary Barnett getting together and having some fun. You'll see those two on the set on Saturday. Vogelsong beats Ellis inside.
A strikeout, that's the 8th of the ball game, and that ties a career high for him. He's done it 5 other times.
Cargo's gone down swinging once against him. Ground ball to short.
3 other times
as well. A lot of Venezuelan players in attendance tonight. Cargo hits it off the end of the bat. And Vogelsong doing his thing through 5 innings. It's 5-2 San Francisco. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Jack in the Box. For a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combos back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. By Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. By the Courtyard by Marriott on the 16th Street Mall. Ask about our hometown sports package. And by Pizza Hut. Get any pizza, any size, any toppings for just $10 when you carry out. Giants got a 2-run home run in the first from Pablo Sandoval. They added 3 in the second. The Rockies played very poor defense. Ryan Vogelsong leading off here in the 6th with a broken bat single. That's his second knock of the night against Chacin. Chacin has given up 7 hits and he's walked 4. Been an uneven outing so far for Jolice, trying to win for the 12th time this year. That's a strike on Cody Ross. See Toyota talk going by. And that's a 2-strike count on Cody Ross. Sounding off for CSU a few days ahead, a couple days ahead. No swing. They check it out at first with Sam Holbrook. Heard from a lot of people who enjoyed scorekeeping night. We'll try to do that annually. I know we did it, I believe, last year or the year before. So Jaden basically saying she's blowing off class that day to be at opening day. That's okay. We approve of such a thing, right?
I do not condone skipping class. I never missed one.
Somehow, I know differently. Ian Stewart. That's I'm not sure how to pronounce the name of Wyoming, but Ian Stewart hurt his wrist a little bit, so he was shut down late in the AAA season. Two and 2 on Cody Ross. Vogelsong a leadoff single. And way inside, that also goes off Ionetta's glove.
Backup slider. Didn't see that pitch at all. I don't think Ionetta focused. I just don't think he realized which way that pitch was going to take off on him when it got in. Once again, a fastball, second of the ball game.
And Ross hits this to deep left center field. Smith chasing it, can't get it. Short hops the wall. Vogelsong around third. And the throw to the plate is going to be cut off by Pacheco. A run scoring double by Cody Ross, his 50th RBI of the year. 6-2 San Francisco.
Broken bat single by Vogelsong. Pass ball, hanging slider, but really not hanging. And he generated an awful lot of bat speed on a pitch that was down. I thought it hung from our viewpoint up here. Can you watch it on replay? Not a bad pitch. And he hit the ball in the deepest part of the park. And now Chacin's having a conversation with Bob Apodaca and Chris Ionetta. Looks like J.C. Romero starting to get loose down in the Rockies bullpen. It is.
Well, that'll bring up Jeff Keppinger. Keppinger has a sac fly in the ball game, 0 for 2 otherwise. Keppinger's a University of Georgia product. He's an All-American there. He's from Parkview High School in the Atlanta area. If you follow some of the more prominent high schools, that one rings familiar. Jeff Francoeur went to Parkview. There's been some other big leaguers out of Parkview High School also in the Atlanta area. Keppinger turned 31 back in April. Hit .288 last year with Houston. That's inside. 2-1. Chassin has got Ross hung up. And the throw is late. That throws high. And Ross is safe.
Not the way you run it, boys.
You know what? I tell you what. I know it's September 15th, but it looks a lot like the first day of spring training defensively for the Rockies. That was awful. So on a fielder's choice, first and third.
Yeah, right back at him. Now here's what you got to do. Run at him, but turning back to the base he came from. Don't give the ball up so soon that you extend the long throw, and it was a bad throw to Tommy Field. So you run him back to the base. You don't let him get that far off. That's fundamentally a bad play by Yolis.
And now Carlos Beltran is at the plate. Beltran is 1 for 3. He reached on an error in the second inning by Pacheco. Hit his 300th career home run yesterday. One of 9 switch hitters now all time with 300 or more home runs. 0-2. Mickey Mantle hit the most, 536. Eddie Murray, 504. Chipper Jones, 453. Berkman, 357. Chili Davis hit 350. Reggie Smith, 314. Mark Teixeira is at 312. Ruben Sierra hit 306. And then Carlos Beltran. So get a run home, and Beltran out at first base. So the Rockies able to turn it over. And the Giants have their 7th run. Time for our Coors Light freeze camp. Pablo Sandoval got a high fastball in the first inning, and he got the barrel out and drove it into the second deck in right field for his 20th home run of the year. It's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 2 outs, nobody on. Seven, 2, San Francisco. This ball is well hit right center field, and Cargo can't make the catch. He tumbles down, loses his glove, and Sandoval, all 230 pounds of him, winds up at third base. A triple, and now you have to hope Gonzalez is okay. That's going to be all for Chassin.
4-hit night for Sandoval, and the cycle on top of that. A single, a double, a triple, and a home run.
You know what? You're right. Let's look down at the book. The rarest of happenings, Pablo Sandoval has just hit for the cycle. In the first 6 innings. And I hope you've been thinking about it, and I hope you have gotten started with College Invest. It's very easy. Go online to collegeinvest.org, and they can set up a plan that works for you. You don't have to think about it. You can have it wired right from your bank into your College Invest bank account. And I know years down the road you'll be happy you did. So go see them at collegeinvest.org. Pablo Sandoval, a 2-run home run in the first, a single in the second, a double in the fifth, and now a triple. And for Sandoval, he's the first Giant to have a cycle since Fred Lewis did it here against the Rockies. He's the 25th Giant all time. Looks like Carlos is okay. Aubrey Huff to face J.C. Romero with 2 outs. The only other cycle in baseball this year, George Coteras, catcher with the Milwaukee Brewers, produced one.
2 speedsters, Sandoval and Coteras.
Remember when Benji Molina had one, George?
Yeah, sure did. Doug, you're writing awfully fast. What are you writing? Let's take a look at Romero's numbers, kind of combined here with Philadelphia and Colorado. 31st appearance for him, 422 earned run average. A situational type guy, coming at just 21 in the 3rd innings.
What Doug was writing furiously is that the Rockies have been involved in 10 cycles. They've produced 6, and now the opposition has produced 4, and all 10 times.
Don't tell me at Coors Field.
They've all been at Coors Field.
You think the gaps have anything to do with that?
Of course not. 2-1 on Huff. And this is a broken bat, little pop fly. And that's grabbed by Ty Wigginton. In the inning, a couple of runs, and of course the triple for Sandoval to produce the cycle. 7-2 San Francisco. for the Land Rover extraordinary play of the day. Well, Pablo Sandoval, you have to tip your cap to him. He's an exciting player. He's gotten himself in better shape. And there's never been a question about his ability to hit. 2-run home run. There's the base hit, and then the great hand-eye coordination out on his front side. He pokes a double to left, and then a few moments ago, the high fly ball to deep right center field that hit off the base of the wall. And the big man into third with a triple and his first career cycle. Our Land Rover extraordinary play of the day. And Brandon Belt has come out of the ball game. No, Brandon Belt stays in the ball game. It's Aubrey Huff who's come out of the ball game. Cody Ross has moved to left field. Andres Torres is at center. And Belt is at first.
His natural position.
Seth Smith's at the plate. There's Andres. Brandon Belt went and got his first baseman glove. Three and 0 on Smith. Smith walked his last time up. Seven to 2 San Francisco, 8 hits to 4, and Smith walks again. Alana, what are you doing?
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about what you guys were talking about in regards to Chris Iannetta, how well he has produced offensively in the A-hole and behind the plate. His defense has never been in question. I had a conversation with Chris earlier today for the Rockies pregame report about how his playing time has kind of taken a hit with these younger kids coming up and having the Rockies take a look at them. He said, you know what, of course I want to play every day, but I've been around the game long enough to understand at this time in the season when the team is no longer in it that we have to do this. When I asked him about his future, because of course he was the subject of trade rumors at the trade deadline, whether they were external or not, he said, you know what, this is the place I want to be. It's the only organization I have ever known. I believe we are still incredibly talented despite our record. He says, I want to be a Colorado Rocky for my entire career, guys.
Hey, Alana, where are you?
I am over here in right field.
It's kind of loud.
It's very loud. There's a bunch of Colorado people over here, University of Colorado. They're having a good time. CU is represented big time over here, guys. I can't imagine why I would pick this section.
I can't either.
That's a rocket that's caught by the third baseman Sandoval. Have a night. You know, we see the Giants 18 times a year, and I would concur with Mike Krukow. It's a joy to watch this kid play because he has fun.
He has an awful lot of fun. You're absolutely right, he does. Line drive, grabbed the baseball. So he's put on about 10 pounds since the start of the season, but still obviously playing at a very, very high level.
Vogelsong walks off after 5 1/3. Sports is looking for the biggest baseball fans in the Rocky Mountain region. If you live, eat, breathe baseball, we want you to share your photos. This month, we're looking for the ultimate Rocky Mountain fans in Utah. And we're going to feature you on our broadcast. So to enter, visit our website at rockymountain.rootsports.com.
That's not Tracy Ringlesby.
That's beautiful, though.
Oh, man, is that not...
It's breathtaking.
Gorgeous.
Wow. Steve Edelson is in the game. Edlifson, let me correct that. He's a native of Minnesota. Played his college baseball in Lincoln at the University of Nebraska.
Last year at Fresno, he went 7-2 as a reliever, getting another opportunity after a strong season in AAA. Quick arm action, quick delivery, a lot of sort of deception on that. He'll throw 88 to 93 miles an hour with a hard slider. Typically, you'll see ground ball outs. It's a very deceptive kind of a three-piece motion. You see what he does when he comes set.
Facing Jordan Pacheco. Pacheco a walk and a home run tonight. Smith at first. Take a look at our Coors Light. Cold, hard blast. Jordan Pacheco with his second major league home run. He hit 3 all year in Colorado Springs. How do you like that? Coors Light cold, hard blast. 1-2 count on Pacheco. And a ground ball to Belt. It's nicely turned. 3-6-1. And Steve Edlifson does a nice job there. Back in the first inning, Pablo Sandoval with the man aboard and 2 outs. Lost one to right field, his 20th of the year. And 3 more runs in second inning for San Francisco. The Rockies trying to battle back. It was 5-1, and Pacheco's home run made it 5-2. And then Pablo Sandoval, well, he's been the story this evening. In addition to the home run, he had a single. He pokes his double down the left field line, and when he came up an inning ago, he tripled to right center field. A cycle, second in Major League Baseball this year. And Carlos Gonzalez evidently a little bit sore. We don't know what he did, but he's come out. Smith has gone into from left to right, and Eric Young Jr. is in the ball game. Rockies limping literally to the finish line. Brandon Belt against J.C. Romero. Here's the 1-0 from Romero. The book on Chassin, he goes 5 2/3. He gives up 7 runs, 4 earned, 9 hits. He walked 4. He struck out only 1.
And obviously the defense was not good for him tonight. A couple of errors. He had a couple of mental errors. One in the run down, one when he had a walk to the pitcher. So I mean, there's some things he had in the ball game that weren't good, but the defense let him down also.
Two and 2 on Bell. And a breaking ball that strikes out Bell.
Coca-Cola and the Rockies want to salute fans next Monday with coupons to the first 25,000 for free Coca-Cola products. Rockies giveaways will happen in between innings.
Hector Sanchez, switch hitter in from the right side now against Romero. George mentioned it earlier. This is a kid that was in San Jose high A ball in the Cal League earlier this year.
Yeah, got an opportunity pretty quick too. Eli Whiteside had gotten hurt, struggling with his bat, so he got the opportunity to come up. By the way, folks, Buster Posey playing a little bit of catch, is going to start to catch some bullpens. Brian Wilson, their closer, threw off the mound today. Some of their injuries will start to recover. Now, Buster's plan, I'm being told by Mike Krukow, is that he will go down to Arizona Instructional League and work out of the bullpen and just kind of see how it goes from there. Did I say Dusty? Buster Posey, excuse me.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of baseball activities now. That's the good news. He'll be ready to go in spring training. He went down in late May. Bruce Bochy's club really hung in there. Everybody thought they'd fall apart. They led the division at the break. We showed you that earlier. But they've played 3 games underneath 500 since the All-Star break. 27-30. That's what the Rockies have done in the second half. And Arizona just took off. 18 games above 500. Arizona is not playing tonight. 2-2 on Hector Sanchez, and he's gone. Two outs, and that'll bring up Brandon Crawford. Edgmer Escalona. $34,364 at the ballpark tonight. And Crawford has another base hit. 2 hits and a walk tonight for Brandon Crawford, who was struggling with the bat coming into the ball game.
How many at bats does Edlefson have? I threw that out almost as good as you did. Does he have a bat yet?
No,
no?
this
first
will be
one, first big leaguer.
This will be the first big league at bat for Stephen Edlefson.
Edlison. How'd I do there? Better?
You did much better.
But that's not how you spelled it.
Well, kind of is.
No, that's not how you spelled it over here.
Well, I phonetically spelled it for you.
Yeah, but you didn't say it that way.
Taking care of my partner. Done well for a 16th round pick, right?
Yes, he has. You better believe it. Out of the University of Nebraska.
Played in the Jayhawk League also, George. You went to Barton County.
Lives in Bloomington, Minnesota.
Cold up there.
Very cold.
0-2. Played with the Colorado native Jake Opitz at Nebraska. Jake in the Cubs organization now. And Jake's a position player. He swings the bat a little better than Edlison, but I know he's proud of him. First big league game. Colorado State are playing
Yeah, man, it's weekend. Let's go.
Yep, we have the pregame show Saturday, 10:30 in the morning, right here on Root Sports. And you'll hear from John Embry, you'll hear from Steve Fairchild, you'll hear from Sonny Lubick, the legendary Sonny Lubick. Gary Barnett will be on hand as well. So make sure you join us at 10:30 and then flip on or keep it right here on Root Sports right after the ball game, as we'll have the post-game show. Pre-game, ball game, post-game, right here on Root Sports, and the Rockies play later on. That is foul. That is 1 for 2. Edlison got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning. Guys having trouble playing catch tonight, George. You notice that?
You mean like pitcher and catcher catch?
Yeah. Iannetta hits it high and deep right center field, and this one's gone. Chris has hit his 13th. It's 7-3.
Well, continues to pick on the San Francisco Giants throughout his career. Second hit of the ball game. Big moving fastball, ran right back to the middle of the plate. It was down, but Iannetta straight pushed this ball out over the fence in right center field. First home run Chris has hit since August the 6th. And Tommy Field will get his second hit of his big league career with a base hit up the middle.
Chris Nelson's going to pinch hit for Romero.
You know, I didn't think I would say this at this point, but it's almost time to have Sam get the heater out. It's a little chilly tonight.
See, I'm all right. Not quite yet.
You're close, though.
Two and 0.
Tampa, it's a final 9-2 over Boston. Tighten some things up a little bit more. That was in Boston.
Chris came to the ball game late yesterday. Played third base, had one at bat, struck out. Battling that very sore heel. Rockets have hit a couple of home runs tonight, both solo home runs. Iannetta and Jordan Pacheco. This ball is a gapper. Flying around the bases is Tommy Field. He'll get a green light from Richie Dower. He'll score easily on the Chris Nelson double. Here come the Rockies. It's 7-4.
Things look pretty easy early on. Bochy's like, okay, I've seen enough. The kid got us out of a double inning with a double play ball. Now I've seen three hitters hit a home run, a single, the jam shot, and then this double in the gap. And I'm going to go down to the A-team in the bullpen. Slider away and down. A shot out into right field. Bochy's going to have to go down and try to get a move here. I think Runsworth, the left-hander, coming in out of the bullpen.
There's Chris Nelson, safe at second, safe and secure. New York Life. 7-4 San Francisco. Nobody out in the seventh for the Rockies. Book a double, scoring Tommy Field to make it 7-4. And Dexter Fowler will come up. He'll flip over to the right side to face hard throwing Dan Runzler.
That is hard throwing. A high earned run average, though, 743. Some other numbers to look at coming into a ball game. First batter faced efficiency just 59% of the time. That's about 12% below your National League average.
Two pitches missed from Runzler. Mark Ellis on deck. Three and 0 on Fowler. Part of the problem for Runzler this year, he's walked 15 in 23 innings.
That's why he got sent back to the minor leagues, try to sharpen the skills up a little bit, but the walks have come back to haunt him. Big arm. I mean, he throws the ball hard, extremely hard, but not always over the plate.
22 Ks in 23 innings, that's fine. The 15 walks, that's not so fine. 3 and 1 on Dexter, who has a good eye. And he drives this to right. And nearly misjudged in right by Beltran. Holding at second is Nelson. The ball was hit very hard by Dexter.
Leg kick, fastball down and away, 3-ball count, 3-1 count on him when he swung the bat. Beltran, like a lot of outfielders, that even experienced guys that come in here, they can get fooled by the flight of the baseball at altitude. That ball almost got over his head.
Yeah, the right guy at the right time. Mark Ellis, hottest hitter in the Rockies lineup. 1 for 3 tonight. He's got an 8-game hitting streak. Hitting just below 400 during the 8 games. He had his second 4-hit game of the year yesterday. Playing a team he knows well from all those Bay Area series. When he was with Oakland, that's on the inside corner. 2-strike count now on Mark. Keppinger will throw out Ellis. Nelson to third, 2 gone. And Eric Young will get his first at bat. Again, Carlos Gonzalez left last inning. And though he didn't come out when he kind of ran into the wall on the triple by Sandoval, he stayed in the ballgame defensively. The next inning on defense, he was out of the ballgame. So we are guessing that his early departure had something to do with that, though we have not been told officially. If your windshield has issues, call Safelite Auto Glass. The number is 303-287-5000, or you can go to safelite.com. Junior is behind 0-2. Rockies fell behind 5-0. Creeping back in it here in the late innings. 7-4 Giants. It's blocked by Hector Sanchez. Jr. with a base hit to right center field. And he's going to go for 2. He's going to have himself a double. It's a 7-5 ball game. Behind in the count 1-2. Eric Young Jr. delivers.
Why not high fives in the dugout? They pulled it to a 2-run ball game, one swing away here from winning or tying this ball game up. Didn't try to pull it, just stayed behind it, threw it, and Cody Ross cut that ball off, or excuse me, Torres cut that ball off, but not a chance before EY got to second. You just don't get too big a hurry here about a big lead. You'll score on a base hit by Smith.
And EY safe and secure at second base, New York Life. Slider in there for a strike on Smith. Strikeout in the second, and he's walked in the third and the 6th inning. Smitty's done some damage this year left on left. And this is hit to third. Sandoval, low throw, and Belt makes the catch. Good inning for the Rockies, real good inning. They got a home run from Iannetta, and then 2 more runs after that to close with it 2. Ecotech Game Summary is brought to you by Ecotech Institute Denver, where you can make the world your workplace. The Rockies trailed 5-0 after 2. They've closed to within 7-5. Ryan Vogelsong really had a very good outing. He got more run support tonight than he's gotten in his previous 5 starts combined. And for Jolie Chassin, he gives up 7 runs, 4 earned in a spotty outing. And the story of the night, Pablo Sandoval with the 2nd cycle produced in Major League Baseball this year. Pretty night in the Mile High City. When is it not?
I was just getting ready to say it. You haven't seen too many bad ones.
Nope.
Only when there's a whiteout, then you can't see all the pretty sight right there.
And
that's
even,
right.
And if you're safe and secure, George, somewhere, even that's pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Escalana's coming into the ball game after a short stint on the disabled list. Stole the ball well. Came in the other day, worked an inning of baseball. Come on here to pitch the top half of the 8th inning.
Tell you what, nice job by J.C. Romero. Went an inning in the 3rd and had 3 punch outs. Nice play. Now the throw. Safe. Well done by Wigginton. And a leg hit for Cody Ross. Bang, bang play at first. This is a great pickup.
You're not kidding. Great pickup. High hop, gain of momentum. Backhand and come up and throw the baseball with all the arm strength that he has. And Iannetta doesn't try to stretch out to get to the baseball. He tried to make sure, that Pacheco tried to make sure he got out to catch the ball on a good hop.
Yeah, and again, he's not, other than playing a few games in the Arizona Fall League a couple of years ago at first base, he's not familiar with that spot.
Last year he was in the Arizona Fall League.
Okay, last year, but to your point, George, he had at that point footwork I think got crossed up a little bit because he didn't stretch.
You know, and even in the AFL last year, a year ago, he didn't play until the last 2 weeks of the season. He went down there, was catching, and then they moved him to third. The reason people are comfortable with him playing multiple positions because he can catch the baseball. He's got very good hands.
Hit and runs on Wigginton with another difficult play, and Pacheco comes off and makes the tag. Good base running by Cody Ross. He was moving on the pitch, and once the throw went across the diamond, he moved up another 90 feet. So he's at third with one out.
Yeah, I think maybe when it got high in the air too to Pacheco, that made a little bit of a difference. Here's the hit and run. We can check the runners, and then the throw. See, it's high. He's got a tag, and when he turned his back in the throw, the ball left the hand of Ty Wigginton, and that's when he decided, I'm taking off. I'll just take the foot race. Two-run ball game. Infield's drawn in.
And Carlos Beltran swings through the slider from Escalona. Beltran hitting .443 inside the NL West since he came from the Mets. 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. And that's a strike. It's 0-2. Beltran hitting .442 in the month of September. And this is popped up and playable in foul ground for Wigginton, who's been busy this inning. 2 outs. The infield can drop back. And here comes Mr. Cycle, Pablo Sandoval. Now, the question is, do you pitch to him?
I don't think you do. I think you go ahead and walk him and then pitch to Torres. I know he can run a little bit, but then just don't give him the opportunity for Sandoval to swing the bat and beat you. They're not going to do it. They're going to go ahead and walk him. Iannetta with the glove out.
Yeah, you know what? Rather than see him start to go to work on his second cycle of the night.
Plus, Torres hadn't swung a bat. I mean, came in defensively a couple of innings ago in center field, so it'll be his first at bat. Plus, it buys a little bit of time also for Matt Reynolds to get loose down in the bullpen. Torres 158 right-handed, 232 on the left side. Follow the Rockies with MLB.TV, or excuse me, MLB.com, at Bat 11 app, featuring highlights and more. Text at Bat to 31826 or visit ColoradoRockies.com. Rocks 2 for 7 tonight with runners in scoring position. The Giants 1 for 10.
Torres hits it high and deep to right field, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. Smith makes the catch, and the Giants leave runners at first and third. 7-5, middle of 8. Inning. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Rockies down a couple of runs. So, Lana, what's going on?
Well, I wanted to say at this final homestand of the 2011 season, the Colorado Rockies are saluting our viewers, the fans at home, for all of the support they have given the Colorado Rockies throughout the season. So this week, while we're at home, take advantage and come out to the ballpark because there's a lot of activities just for you, the fan. Tomorrow, of course, there are fireworks. Tomorrow night, there's giveaways all week long, a lot of different prizes. Tulo t-shirt on Sunday. Tomorrow, you can get a lunch bag. 2012 tickets are being given away for spring training games as well as for season tickets. A lot of different opportunities. And, of course, the final home game on Wednesday, the Rockies will do the lap around the warning track, guys, to say thank you to the fans.
Hey, Alana.
Yeah.
What's in the lunch bag?
Probably nothing. I think they give it
What
to
do you mean,
Well, I
nothing?
think they give it to you empty, and then it's incumbent upon you to make a sandwich and put it in there. Maybe bring a drink or something that you would like to have at the ballpark. They're not going to give you food. It might spoil. Fraze.
Might not.
It might.
Apple, a little orange, a little
The
banana.
first 10,000 fans, it'd be pretty difficult to make something and stuff those bags with something.
Be
You
busy all
have
night.
to make the food, Fraze.
Oh, boy.
Jordan Pacheco went around. It's 0-1. Olana, don't pay any attention.
To who? To the lunch bag? Or what's a lunch bag? Lunch bag's got food in it.
You provide the food. Chris Iannetta on deck. And Ramon Ramirez misses high. The former Rocky with a 1-1 count on Jordan Pacheco. Pacheco a walk, a home run, his second since being called up from Tulsa. Actually from Colorado Springs. Rosario came up from Tulsa, 1-2.
Ramon Ramirez came to the Rockies from the Kansas City Royals, or excuse me, went to the Kansas City Royals from the Rockies on to Boston. Pitched well there in the playoffs and then on over to San Francisco and got a World Series ring last year.
Ground ball to third, Sandoval. Another guy that's had a good night offensively, Chris Iannetta, single, strikeout, home run. 2 for 3. Ramon Ramirez on the hill. Speaking of erstwhile Rockies, Javi Lopez in the bullpen. Towering fly ball to center field.
Took a total of 7 pitches, 5 for strikes for Ramirez to get through that inning.
So we go to the ninth, Giants up 7-5. post-game show with Tom Helmers coming up soon. Tom?
You ready for this, Drew?
I am. I think.
Panda was a kung fu cycling.
Oh, boy.
Pacheco struck like lightning. I know the power is a little bit frightening. This postgame's so enticing. Woo! Yes, there you go.
That's the best yet. That's the best yet.
That was called Kung Fu Cycling. Our album's dropping this Christmas. Be sure to buy it.
All right, now listen, you know it was so good, we're going to ask for a repeat performance after 2 outs.
Hopefully they just recorded that and they can just redo it. That'd be awesome.
You going to have a voice left?
Nice job, fellas.
We're bringing it.
I like it.
We're bringing it.
Hey, you know what?
Where's the hat? Where's the hat? He couldn't get into it. He couldn't lift his leg up.
He wanted to go with the whole Johnny Paycheck theme, and we just were like, nah, we're not doing it, man. We're not doing it.
Didn't work. Hey, Stat hit a soprano there on the whatever that.
He's got great range. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
There's a lot of talent out here, guys.
And we're just kind of bragging on ourselves. But like I said, the album drops this Christmas.
The season has not ended yet.
No, we're coming strong.
Yeah.
2-strike count. And that pitch from Reynolds misses on Belt, 1-2.
Woo.
Imagine if Kung Fu Panda has another big night tomorrow.
Could be dangerous.
Could be. Two balls, 2 strikes on Belt, who started the evening in left field and then moved to first. This ball is hit to deep left field, and it's going to get out. That thing just kept carrying and carrying, and you get to see some of the power that the Giants have talked about for more than a year. Brandon Belt with his 6th of the year.
He has hit so many balls a long way, but he's struggled offensively this year. Think about it. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 opportunities, 6 home runs, 13 RBIs. He's hitting .218 prior to this, and so now it may have gone up 223, 224. A lot of talent, but it just hasn't been able to translate. But I also think maybe rushed a little bit. He was in high A year ago. This year he starts in AA, AAA, almost makes the big, or did make the big league team, and then back down again. Not a lot of at bats at the minor league level, but obviously he connected on the lefty Reynolds and hit it out of the ballpark.
And that's been an issue for Matt this year. He has not dominated left-handed hitting like he did last season when he was called up. Lefties hitting over 300 against Matt. (3-0) on Hector Sanchez.
Well, the other side of that too, left-handers have hit 6 home runs against him this year out of the 10 given up.
And this is well hit to center field, and this one is off the glove and the wall. Dexter made a good go of it, but it's a double for Sanchez.
Yeah, Dexter made a great move on the baseball. Thought he had caught it, really. When the ball left the bat, they had a chance to get out of here. Dexter turned around once and hit off the end of the glove, and then when it got into the glove, I think it's actually in the glove right here. And then when he hit the wall, it came out of the glove, popped out. It was a great effort by Dexter Fowler. And then the ball dropped. The Rockies got 2 right-handers going down in the bullpen right now.
No, Rockies already had Carlos Gonzalez graze the wall earlier. And now Dexter trying to shake some pain out of the left arm or shoulder. Matt Reynolds was trying to get a quick inning. Rockies felt like they had a little bit of momentum going. 2-run ball game. Get to the bottom of the 9th, who knows? Now it's a 3-run game. Runner at second, nobody out. And Crawford at the plate. He's got a couple of hits tonight. 2-strike count on Brandon Crawford. Josh Renicky and Jim Miller.
Actually, Miller try to get some consistent work this last couple of weeks to really see where he stands. Yeah, there he's closed it. Got him to chase a breaking ball out. Iannetta blocks it. He'll throw to first.
With one out, Mark DeRosa is going to pinch hit. Talk about a guy that's battled some wrist injuries last couple of years. DeRosa has spent a lot more time spectating and rehabbing. Jim Tracy's going to make a move right here and move Matt Reynolds with one out. Giants leading 8-5. Josh Renicky when we come back. It's time for the Home Depot doing more on defense, more saving, more doing. Well, that guy's done a lot of doing tonight. Kung Fu Panda played great defense, and oh, by the way, he has a cycle.
I think he'll be on a few highlights. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he's going to get a few attaboys in the clubhouse afterward. He's made those two kids happy. A couple Giant fans here at Coors Field. Josh Renicky's in the ball game with Hector Sanchez at second. Getting ready to face Mark DeRosa, 15th appearance for Josh Renicky. Just got to see his uncle last couple of days in Milwaukee, the skipper Ron Renicky of the Brewers.
Well, he's actually done a pretty good job for the Rockies. 12 strikeouts and only 5 walks, attacks and strikes. I think the one number he would like to improve on is this number right here, inherited runners that end up scoring. This is a number that when he's come in a couple of times, those runs have scored, and it's usually been a blue pit, and maybe a bigger hit after that. But he needs to just clean it up a little bit, a little quicker in the innings.
0-1 on Mark DeRosa. He's missed 82 games with wrist problems this year. And this is a one-hopper to Ellis. 2 outs. I'll tell you a quick story about Josh Renicky. Told you before that he was a great athlete. He walked on, played wide receiver at UCLA. You know who his position coach was at UCLA? The head coach at the time was Carl Durrell, who has a lot of ties to not only the Broncos but the University of Colorado. His position coach was John Embry.
Really?
And he's going to be at the CU-CSU ball game. Sports Authority Field at Mile High on Saturday morning. Hopefully a quick chance to say hello to his
Hey, did you get me a sideline pass for that?
You're all set. You're all set.
Ready to go? Can I call the 4th down marker?
I have it arranged so you get in a couple of snaps.
That won't happen.
You don't want to run around?
No. Well, for which team?
Cody Ross is 2 for 5. Actually, George, I don't want you out there. I don't think it's safe for
I just want to go to the game. 2 outs with 2 outs runners scoring position. Again, just a number that just brings out their offense. Causes Bruce Bochy to rub the head. 6 for 45, a 133 average. That's a lot of times to have chances with 2 outs. 45 for Cody Ross.
Two and two. Mark Ellis calling for it, and he's got it. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Brandon Belt hit a home run to make it 8-5. So the Rockies with plenty of work to do when they come up. The Colorado Rockies may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any format. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Well, the Rockies trailing 8-5 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Santiago Casilla, who's been closing games with Brian Wilson ailing. He pitched a perfect 9th inning yesterday to earn the save against the Padres. He has been hard to hit. Got a 1.36 ERA, which is the 4th lowest among big league relievers with at least 40 innings of work. Since the All-Star break, his ERA is 0.67. He's given up only 2 runs in his last 30 innings, covering 27 ball games. Missed basically the first couple of months of the season with an inflamed right elbow. Once he got that straightened out, he's been outstanding. Tommy Field will lead it off, and then in the on-deck circle, the Rockies have Willeen Rosario. Tommy got a base hit in the 7th inning, his 2nd career hit. He's 1 for 3 tonight.
Great arm. They still throw the ball in the mid-90s. That was 94 with that fastball.
And a broken bat base hit for Tommy Field.
2nd straight base hit for Tommy Field after singling back in the 7th inning. Came around to score a run. That's when the Rockies scored last, but 3 up in a heartbeat. Fastball that's elevated. You're thinking 3-run lead, use a lot of fastballs, try to get the ball on the ground, but a belt-high fastball, it might have broken the bat, but field strength gets it out over the head of Sandoval into left field.
So Rosario steps up. Big swing and a miss. Lean caught both ball games in Milwaukee. Hit a home run yesterday. He had an RBI double on Tuesday night. Alex White and Madison Bumgarner tomorrow. Drew Pomerantz will go Saturday. It's a 1-2 count on Rosario. League hitting just 140 against Santiago Casilla in the second half. It's very rare that a pitcher runs out there for the Giants that you go, oh boy, he's had a rough year.
Yeah, every one of their pitchers, from starting fifth starter all the way to the last guy in the bullpen, typically is pretty good. Dick Tinrow's done a great job through their drafting and developing situation. Lee Smith worked there for a long time as a pitching coordinator, former closer with the Chicago Cubs, but it all starts with Dave Righetti as the big league guy. Peranowski works also. They worked for so long in the Dodgers.
Ron Peranowski.
As a big league pitching coach, and then worked for the Giants. That's when they brought in Dave Righetti to take over. Peranowski went to the minor leagues and has started to work with pitchers down there and has been for quite some time.
I've been impressed with Hector Sanchez defensively.
Yeah, that one got him pretty good, though. That may have got him in the throat. He's fighting that off pretty good. Yeah, you're always concerned when this ball, watching him go out to block this baseball, as he went out, it stuck right under the mask.
It's amazing, catchers will tell you how frequently the baseball avoids all that protection they have. And look at that. And Willeen Rosario understands better than anybody Hector Sanchez's pain. 3-2 count when we resume on Rosario. Bruce Bochy gets it also. The position Bochy played in the big leagues. You know what would be gutty right here, George? Tell him to bury another slider.
Well, you know, most catchers, toughest position on the field, probably tell him, yep, go ahead and throw it. I'll catch it.
Nobody out. Tommy Field at first. 3-2 on the pinch hitter, Willeen Rosario.
Sinker in.
Dexter's on deck. told you earlier, no Helt, no Tulowitzki, no Kuzminov again tonight. So it may be September, and the rosters may be expanded, but it doesn't feel that way for Jim Tracy with all the injuries. And Gonzalez has already left the ball game. Struck him out. Same pitch, that hard sinker. One gone, and Dexter Fowler coming up. He's 1 for 4. Hit the ball extremely hard his last time up, a line drive to right that he hit with such authority. Beltran almost misjudged it, had to leap and make a catch. Bounce foul. Even though it was a foreign concept and felt uncomfortable for Dexter initially, and it's not second nature yet with that leg kick, George, he's adopted it and had a lot of success with it.
Yes, he has. Well, here's the thing. Anytime you make change, as a hitting coach making a change or a pitching coach, you want to see pretty good success pretty quickly, because otherwise they'll lose faith in it and won't continue to try it. And once Dexter started to do it, he had some success, although limited, but enough to make him continue.
Yeah, that's a great point. Probably hard to sell somebody on something.
Well, particularly at this level.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at this level, when a guy's gotten here and he's played this way, even though he struggled a little bit, saying, I'll figure it out. And he said, come on, just try this. Try it. You know, give me 20 at-bats. Give me 25 at-bats and see what happens.
Oh, 2. Well, I know you've heard this before. A lot of times there'll be some prominent guys out there who've made a lot of money or are in the midst of making a lot of money, and a hitting coach, or to your point, a pitching coach tries to make a change, and they're reluctant to do it because they say, hey, you know what? It may not be perfect right now. It may be able to get better, but I'm comfortable here, and I've gotten well paid to.
Sure.
Based on what I've done my way.
Well, I think that the key to that is
it's a ground ball to second.
I think the big key to what you're talking about here is with a player and a coach relationship, and it's my opinion, you have to become their friend first and then gain their trust that you are trying to help them. If you come in and immediately say, not going to work, you got to do this. If you're coach, they're going to put up a brick wall real quick.
Two outs, and Mark Ellis, who's 1 for 4. Off the plate, ball 1. Mark a line out, base hit that drove in a run in the third, struck out, and also grounded to second. Rockies with 5 runs on 9 hits. 8 runs, 13 hits for San Francisco. First of 4.
Pretty good spot to sit over there, girls. Got your glove. 2 foul balls so far. Like the last half inning.
And they're scoring the game. Gotta like it. Here's the 1-1.
Lincecum's like, oh, here you go, I'll give you a ball. Thanks for being fans. You guys are awesome. You do see a lot of fans in San Francisco come to the game. They have gloves down their hands. Men and women, kids.
Strike 3. Mark Ellis thought it was away. Angel Campos disagreed. It's his opinion that matters. 8-5 the final. The Giants win it, and Kung Fu Panda has a game he'll never forget. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. And Pablo Sandoval's night began with a 2-run home run off Jolie Chassin in the first. His next time up, he would hit a ground ball up the middle for a single. Then he punched a double down the left field line. And then when he came up in his fourth at bat against Chassin, he hit a high fly ball that he thought may have gotten out. Instead, it hit the base of the wall in right center, and he chugged his way to third for a triple and the cycle. 25th ever in Giants history. Their first since Fred Lewis did it here at Coors Field a couple of years ago. 8-5 the final. We invite you to stick around. The Toyota postgame show is up next.